What's up, guys? Zade here. Some more post Cyberstorm access content. Today we got a deck profile that somebody on Dueling Book sent me. And if my voice sounds weird, or if you guys haven't seen a video from me in the past couple days, that's because I've been sick with the flu for a week and I've been asleep and dying. But today I feel like a little bit alive, and I'm gonna get back on my bullshit and record some content. And like the deck, like I said, it's a Purrely deck profile for post Cyberstorm access. I don't know a lot about this deck, so I don't know if this is necessarily like a crazy good list or not. But I wanted to go over it so that I could read the cards and also kind of learn them, and so you guys have a rough idea of what the deck's going to look like. And so to hop right into it, 3 Purrely, which it looks like a lot of these cards are actually already out. I didn't even know that this archetype existed, so I'm going to read all the cards to be honest. So Purrely is a level 1 light fairy, 100 attack and defense. If he's normal or special, you excavate the top 3, and if you do, add a excavated Purrely spell trap to your hand, and then place the rest on the bottom of the deck. And then once per turn during the main phase, you can reveal a quick play spell in your hand, a Purrely one. Special summon an XYZ from your extra that mentions that card by using this card you control as material, and attach the revealed card to the summon monster. So you can XYZ using it and a card in your hand for one of these guys, and I guess these all list one. We'll go over which ones they list when I get to it, I guess. Then Purrely Lily. This one is new. So level 1 Dark Fairy, 100 attack and defense. So they're both fairies. I wonder if the extra deck guys are all fairies too. Yes, it looks like they're all fairies as well. So this deck will not get hit by Rivalry. So it could play Rivalry. But like this guy's siding Gozen, and I was actually about to say it looks like they'd be hurt by Gozen. But I guess we'll see when we get to the XYZs. Maybe you just want to end on one. I think this deck does end on like one XYZ from the little bit of replays I was watching. Plus, I'm sure I'll have more replays like uploaded with this deck for you guys to see too, so we can all learn it. But this card, if it's normal or special, add a Purrely card from your deck to your hand, except a quick play spell. So that would be my friend Purrely, which looks like it lets you add a quick play spell anyways, so it's like a shortcut. Stray Purrely and Purrely Yeep. Well, then what? You could target one Purrely quick play in your graveyard, special and XYZ that mentions it, and then if you do, attach that target it. So it's kind of the same as this one, except this one reveals it from hand. Yeah, and then this one targets a quick play in grave. And you summon these by activating a quick play. So you'd like activate a quick play, discard a card, special this guy, effect a search, and then effect target the quick play you discarded, and then summon from extra deck. So that seems pretty good. And then a Dark World engine. If you guys don't know what these cards do, the Snow when it's discarded searches Brow, and Brow when it's discarded draws. But the reason you would play these is because say you open Snow and 4 of the discard spells, these all discard at resolution. So like you'd activate a spell, resolution, discard Snow. Snow would search Snow, activate your other spell, discard Snow, Snow search Snow, activate another spell, so on and so forth until you get to the Brow and then the draw. So this is just like a discard engine to make your discards infinite. There's also like other ones you could play. You could play Volcanic Shell. You could play like, some people play Shaddolls, but the Shaddolls just seem wrong to me. Because you could play like 2 Beasts and a Hedgehog, but they're once per turn. So like you couldn't, if you open Beast and Hedgehog, you couldn't pitch Hedgehog, search Beast, pitch Beast, draw, pitch Beast, draw. But you can Snow into Snow into Snow into Brow, or Snow into Snow into Brow. Like you could play 2/2 and go Snow, Snow, Brow, Brow, and all those effects not once per turn, you know? So it's probably just correct to play these. But you could also play Volcanics, which wouldn't be bad, or you could play one of the Dark Worlds that specials themselves, and you could play like Rain, the one that searches. So say you were to like play 3 Rain and a Silva, you could discard Rain, search Silva, discard Silva, special itself, bounce it, summon Rain, discard Silva to special, and then you could like add Link and XYZ plays, or yeah, mainly Link, but you could add like Link plays to your XYZ plays. I don't know if there's a case for that. I gotta test this deck more, but those are ideas. Then Purrely Delicious Memory. Choose a monster on the field until the end of the next turn. It cannot be destroyed by battle. After choosing a card, then you can apply the following effect. Discard a card, special a Purrely from your deck. Purrely XYZ that has this as a material gains 300 attack and defense. Then we got Memory, which each player gains 1k life. And then you discard a card, special a Purrely. And then if discarded, they all have this effect, right? They all do a thing, and then they summon from deck, and then they do a thing as material. So as material, this card will let you once per turn, send one other card you control to the graveyard, target a card your opponent controls, attach it to this card. So it's giving that effect to the XYZ. And then we got Happy Memory, which lets you choose a card on the field until the end of the next turn. The first time it would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, it's not destroyed. So kind of like Runic Slumber. And then it lets you discard to special a Purrely from your deck. And then a Purrely XYZ that has it can attack monsters a number of times each battle phase up to the number of Happy Memory attached to it +1. So bare minimum, it's giving it a second attack. If you attach another one a third, another one a fourth. Then we got Sleepy Memory, which is a new one. Apply the following effect, then you could discard a card special. Once applied, the next battle or effect damage you take this turn becomes 0. So first damage you take is 0. Discard a card special, level 1 Purrely from deck. And then a monster that has this card as material gains this effect. Once per turn during your opponent's standby phase, you draw 1 card. This card seems cool. And this card makes me think if I were building this deck, I would kind of build it a little differently. My theory on that, because like real quick, I'll talk about it. Looking at his go and second cards, none of them are ones you could draw on the standby phase to solidify your board. But I have seen builds that just play like a lot of hand traps, which I feel like might be the wave. Because you could draw a bunch of hand traps off of having 1 or 2 of those on your XYZ, draw 2, hit an Ash, hit a Droll, hit a Nib, you know what I mean? And then if they have a way to address your XYZ, you're still kind of lit. But we played 3 My Friend Purrely in this list. Pay 500 life, reveal 3 Purrely cards from your deck. Accept this card. Your opponent randomly picks one to add to your hand. Also shuffle the rest in the deck. You can reveal 3 of the same card, so as long as you have 3 of the same card in your deck, you can basically search whatever you want. This card makes it so that the dude that doesn't search quick plays basically does search quick plays. Although this is like better technically than just searching a quick play, because I believe this is once per turn. And then if a face-up Purrely XYZ leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can add up to 3 Purrely quick play spells with different names from your graveyard to your hand. That effect's really, really good for follow-up too, especially since like, well, not, I was going to say especially, but if they are using this on their turn, you got to hope they don't kill you if you don't have a lot of other interruptions or follow-up. But if they don't kill you, you've got mad follow-up on the crackback. This does pay 500 though, so you might be losing in time. Wink, wink. But then 2 Stray Purrely Street. Your opponent cannot target Purrely monsters with card effects the turn they're specialed. Once per turn, if a face-up Purrely XYZ monster you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, special level 1 Purrely monster from your deck or graveyard. And then once per turn during the end phase, target a Purrely XYZ on the field. Attach a quick play from your deck or grave to that card. So in a grind game, that's really good. If your guy sticks for 1 turn, it's going to get to equip a card. Then you're going to get some value. Like, is this only on your opponent's standby? Yeah, I was going to say you could get a draw when it goes back to your turn, but you can't. It's got to be the opponent's. Can these special... Oh, no. I was seeing if the special summon and XYZ effects were quick effects. They're not. But before I go to his other cards, I'm going to... Oh, shit. He's got 2 call by in here. I feel like that was not supposed to be in there. But this might have been an OCG build, so... Yeah, pretend that's not there. That's another triple tactic tasking or something. But I did not double check that. But he plays 2 Dark Ruler, 3 Talent, 1 Tasking. We're going to say 2 because this should not be a second call by here. And triple Imperm for going second cards. And then there was this card too for Engine. Purrely Yeep. You can target a Purrely XYZ you control, special from your extra deck a Purrely XYZ with a different rank, by using that target as material, but return it to the extra deck during the end phase of the next turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target up to 3 Purrelys in your grave, shuffle them into the deck. You can only activate 1 of this card per turn, but you can use both of those effects, it looks like. Because it doesn't say you can activate 1 Purrely effect per turn, it just says you can only activate 1, and using the grave effect is activating an effect, not activating the card. So it lets you rank up, though, is what the main effect is. Then also lets you recycle. And then we're kind of going to disregard side deck because we don't know what the meta is going to look like yet. So it's hard to really determine what cards are going to be in the side. A thing to note, though, is these shizus are probably in place of, like, the Dark Worlds. Like, these are probably just ideas, or you side them in for a certain matchup. It's just stuff to consider, I guess. And I guess let's get in the extra deck. Purrely Beauty. Once per turn, target an effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of the turn. This is a quick effect if this card has pretty memory as material. So that's how these cards mention the others, is some of them have quick effects if they have a certain card as material. Up to thrice per turn, when you activate a Purrely quick play, you can attach that card on the field to this card as material. Then change the battle position of one monster your opponent controls. So quick play effect negation's pretty strong. What else do we got? Happiness. At the end of the damage step, if this card battled, add a Purrely card from your deck to your hand. Also, if this card has happy memory as material, then this one's a happy memory too. No, this one was pretty memory. This one's happy memory. You can have the attack of a face-up monster on the field. Up to thrice per turn, when you activate a quick play spell, attach it. Then you can return a spell trap your opponent controls to the hand. That's pretty cool too. Like if you're against a back row deck, you can make this one and then set a bunch of your quick plays, and then on the end phase, just like quick play, special, effect bounce, quick play special, effect bounce, and then try to kill them on the next turn. Plump. Once per turn, you can target up to 2 spell traps in your graveyard, or in the graveyard, attach them to this card as material. This is a quick effect if it has delicious memory. Up to thrice per turn, when you activate a Purrely quick play spell, attach as material, then banish a monster on the field until the end phase. That one's not bad either. This seems pretty good on the opponent's turn if you're activating a lot of quick play spells. And then here's the big jaunt that we upgrade into. Or are there 2 big jaunts? One of the 2 big jaunts. I just realized that all their extra deck stuff's already out. The only new cards we're getting is Sleepy Memory and Lily. Or are there new cards we're getting that just aren't good? Answer me in the comments, guys, because chances are if you're watching a Purrely deck profile, you probably know more about this deck than me, because I'm just doing content trying to learn it, you know? But let me read this big jaunt. 2 level 7s. You can also XYZ them using a rank 2 or higher. You control 5 or more materials. Transfer the materials to this card. This card's unaffected by your opponent's activated effects while it has 5 or more materials. You can detach 2 from this card, target a card your opponent controls, or in their graveyard, place on the bottom of the deck. This is a quick effect if it has a level 1 Purrely monster as material. So unaffected quick effect bounce is pretty good, but it doesn't have the effect that they have that lets you do something if you use a quick play spell, which kind of sucks. But if you're upgrading him using the trap, maybe you like use your spells first, get your interruptions or whatever, and then flip the trap, summon the big guy who's unaffected, and then has another interruption. Then there's X Purrely Happiness. Also takes 2 level 7s, but can also be summoned using a rank 2 or higher. You control 5 or more materials, transfer the materials. During the main phase, detach a material from this card. And if you do, or during your main phase, detach a material from this card. And if you do, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls until the end of this turn. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this activation if it has a level 1. When an attack is declared involving this card that has 5 or more materials, inflict 1,500 to your opponent. This card's pretty cool. I guess, like, if you can make it, you could try to blank their board. But what's the scenario where you summon a rank 1 with 5 materials through a full board of monsters? Or I guess a rank 2, my bad. But what's the scenario where you make a rank 2 with 5 materials through a bunch of monsters on board, and they didn't do anything to stop it, yet you still want to negate that board? I don't really see where this is going to come up that much, but I guess that's why you only play 1 instead of 2. Then a Zeus. The Zeus seems like it gets huge in this deck, kind of like Kashtira, how Arise Heart gets a bunch of materials. Then he's got a IP and Appaloosa. And then the Sky Striker Ace Monster. I don't really know why. I don't know what this card does. This one's new, though. Takes 2 light and or dark monsters. Must be link summoned once per turn. If this card's special summoned, target 1 card on the field. Destroy it. Then if you have 3 or less spell traps in your grave, send this card to the graveyard. This is kind of cool. Once per turn, at the start of the damage step, if this card battled, you can banish a spell from your graveyard to show that opponent's monster. So this card's like pretty cool. I didn't even realize this was coming out. I'm assuming it comes out in Cyberstorm Access as well. If not, correct me below. But he seems really cool. And then this dude plays 1 Assembly Robin. And so that's the deck profile. Not my list, as you can tell by the fact I was surprised by the second call by at the end. But if you guys have lists or replays, feel free to send them to me. My Discord is going to be in the description below. I also want to just have discussions about the new format in that Discord, so join, please. And like I said, send me replays, send me deck profiles for me to cover on the channel. If this helped you, let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.